Hello, my name is Carrie Ferguson. Today I'm going to tell you about my project titled Classification of Academic Disciplines, Undergraduate Research, and the Biglan Model. To get started, I wanted to go over an outline of what I'll talk to you about today. We'll first go over an introduction of the project and the purposes and objectives of the project. I'll then provide you with some background on the Biglan Model framework and the Research Apprenticeship Program at WVU. I'll then explain my study's research methodology and analyses. Then I will discuss my results and future directions for research. There's been growth in the types of methodologies used to ask and answer questions across disciplines in higher education. Additionally, there's been a promotion of interdisciplinary research in higher education. This is true for research across academic levels, from faculty-led research to undergraduate research. While the increase of interdisciplinary research and broadening of methodologies across disciplines certainly have their benefits, they also come with ambiguity around classification of disciplines in higher education. There are several different ways that disciplines have been classified traditionally, including codification of disciplines, general consensus models, and relevant to this study, the Biglan model. The Biglan model classifies disciplines based on 3 criteria. Those are hard versus soft, pure versus applied, and life versus non-life. Disciplines fall into one of 8 categories defined by the Biglan model. For example, astronomy and chemistry are classified as hard, pure, and non-life system disciplines, while education administration is considered a soft, applied, life systems discipline. Research on disciplines that fall into different criteria have found that individuals within those disciplines prioritize different skills, like communication, theoretical knowledge, and technical skills, differently based on their disciplines. At West Virginia University, disciplines from all 8 categorizations of the Biglan model are represented. Individuals across all of these categorizations engage in research at the university. The Research Apprenticeship Program, also called RAP, pairs students with faculty engaging in research across disciplines. Students serve as an apprentice to the faculty for 2 semesters. While engaging in research, RAP students also enroll in an Introduction to Research course in which they review research skills and engage in facilitated discussions about their work. One specific learning outcome for the RAP program is for students to discover differences in how different researchers in various disciplines answer questions. The current study was developed to assess that specific learning outcome descriptively. The purpose of the current study was to examine 2 aspects of participants' conceptualizations of disciplines, specifically, how students situate their own discipline and how students situate disciplines differently given their current academic discipline within the Biglan model framework. To assess this, surveys were distributed to 42 RAP students in their 2nd semester. Students were not required to participate and were not rewarded for participation in any way. The survey itself was designed to provide relevant demographic information. Participants were asked to rate 8 disciplines using the Biglan criteria. Participants were also asked to rate their own majors using those same criteria. This is a screenshot of the survey in which you can see how students were asked to rate different disciplines by criteria. In this example, you can see that students were asked to rate chemistry, philosophy, microbiology, civil engineering, sociology, special education, accounting, and agricultural sciences as applied or pure disciplines. Due to a small sample size and the exploratory nature of the study, analyses were limited to descriptive statistics. Participant responses for each of the 8 provided disciplines were compared to Biglan's classification of disciplines. Frequency and proportion tables were generated to assess correct responses by provided discipline and correct responses by student major self-classification. Correct responses across criteria were assessed to determine if there was a relationship between correct and incorrect classification using a chi-square analysis. 16 of the invited 42 students participated in the current study. Participants ranged in major, academic year, and self-reported classification. Here you can see how participants self-reported their own majors. One interesting finding seen in this table is that students of the same major classified themselves differently. In this table, you can see how one computer science student rated themselves applied, soft, non-life systems, while another computer science student rated themselves as an applied, hard, non-life system focused discipline. On this table, we can see on the left the Biglan classifications for each of the 8 disciplines provided to the students. You can also see the correct classification per the Biglan model. Here you can see that chemistry is a pure, hard, non-life systems discipline. Here we can also see the percentage of correct responses for the entire sample for each discipline across each criteria. For example, 94% of students correctly rated philosophy as a pure discipline. You can also see the percentage of correct responses broken down by participants' self-reported identification as hard or soft, pure or applied, and life or non-life. Here we can see that 33% of students who indicated that they came from hard disciplines correctly responded that chemistry was a pure discipline. Although nearing significance, there was no significant association between participants' correct or incorrect classification of criteria. While the current study was limited by the sample size and representation of majors across the Biglan model criteria, the study provides an initial framework to use for development of a larger study. Future researchers interested in this topic should seek to increase the sample size of their study, increase the representation of majors in their study, increase representation of participants across the Biglan model criteria, and potentially consider assessing students using a pre-test, post-test design to assess change in classification as a result of participation in RAP. Thank you for taking the time to review this study. If you have any questions, please reach me at my email provided below. Thank you.